All right, so now that this shower pan and walls are all done and tiled, ready for grout, I'm going to move on to this mitered return that I have to scribe into the logs. So when I was doing the prep, I made this piece of go board. I used a compass first to kind of get the rough scribe, and then I used a little washer and a pencil to get a more precise scribe. And then when I cut it, I went ahead and made another one. This is just 1/2-inch go board. So this one, I'm going to figure out a way to integrate it into a template for all of these mitered pieces. And I'm just gonna make this up as I go, which is what I do pretty much every day with everything. So, hope it works. Ta-da. So it's a template for the tile. So we can miter the zellige tile around that corner and into those logs. That one gets permanently installed. This one gets used for a template. So I marked that piece of go board right where my mitered tile edge ends, and then I mitered it on my tile saw. Nice and clean. Actually, it's not really that clean. This terracotta dust is a mess, but a clean miter anyway. So then, now I have a piece of go board that fits right in there to be used as a template. And now I'm going to attempt to transfer it onto the zellige tiles and go from there. Okay, so I've got all of these pieces mitered already. Now I've just laid everything out, making sure that I'm lined up with the marks I made on my template. Then I'm going to take that baby and set it on there and trace it with a fresh one of these, because these are my favorite markers in the world. I literally have 30 of them in my toolbox right now because I'm a marker hoarder. But anyway, gonna trace those, cut a few and try them to make sure I'm on point, and go from there. All right, I've got that template traced onto all of these, and now I'm going to cut a few and see how they fit. So I prefer a wet saw for pretty much anything I can use a wet saw for. I like to, especially with this terracotta. It's just so messy and dirty and dusty and dry. I like to wet cut it. So I'll do as much as I can with the wet saw, and then I am amazed that I even did this because I'm such a bucket hoarder. But I drilled a hole in a bucket to create a little downdraft. So when I'm shaping these with various tools, it sucks most of the dust down there. Like I said before, I'm a spoiled prima donna. I don't go outside if it's cold to cut. I mean, it's actually a pretty nice day, but I also don't want to mess up their deck or driveway with this red dust. So doing everything I can inside, and here we go. All right, one down. So far so good. Just a little bit of tweaking to get it to fit. I debated for like 2 days on whether or not to run this mitered return in the red down to the floor or continue the curb clear across. I ended up deciding on sending the curb clear across just so we have a continuous tile against the floor there. I mean, that's one of those things that wasn't really spec'd either way, and you got to just kind of go with your gut and pick one, you know. Obviously these logs, there's gonna be some movement in those. I'm not leaving a 1/4 inch gap against them. I think that looks like dog shit. So I'm gonna do them pretty tight and caulk it. And if these logs move enough to pop one off someday, I'll come and replace it. That's just my opinion. Look at that cute little piece. See if I can get it in there without making a huge mess. Should probably be doing it left-handed because I'm left-handed, but adapt and overcome. And then I got this little dental pick here to adjust it. That's a James Morris idea. I'm sure a lot of people do it, but Jimmy invented it. Making some good headway here. This is actually going better than I thought it would, so that's always a good bonus. Couple trips back and forth for each piece pretty much just to micro tune it, but I am super digging it. I think the word scribe gets thrown around in our industry a lot, and a lot of the times it's just tracing shit onto other stuff. This is actually a scribe, scribing into a surface that's already there. And I don't think I've ever done a log scribe before. First time. So, kind of fun. So there you have it. A mitered return scribed into some logs. Definitely my first time doing that, I'd have to say. I actually thought it was pretty fun. Some of these little pieces were kind of tricky to get to stay in there. But yeah, a lot of effort for a little detail that nobody might ever notice, but I think a few people will. I like it. Excited to grab this thing. It's been a fun, interesting, unique shower to do. There's your floor, trying to keep that protected. Anyway, grout day tomorrow. Good times. So today's fun was making this mitered return and scribing it into the logs of this log cabin. Kind of a fun and tedious process. That's all done. Shower is all done and ready to grout. So, gonna try and grout this tomorrow. Got a little ultralight piped into the joints to take up some space, create a mechanical bond for that grout, hopefully. We'll see how it goes.